it on. Know you wish you had my Levi jeans. When it's popping out your phone, put it down to it down.
Baby, you know I'm on my bullshit. How let you ride it? Rodeo in your room, that shoe breaks loose with perfect time. Love when you tease me in them jeans, girl.
No one's thinking about it. The gerrymandering that they are doing, the cracking, the packing, the kidnapping of communities. It's got the representation from those communities. Often black lives, often communities of color, often communities that have not had access to power. No one's thinking about it. The
Good morning, welcome in. Not out, but in. Step shares. Oh, he get on my nerves, y'all. Right on in. Ooh. All right. Well, anybody step in and watch after, that's fine. Good morning. All right. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to this, but it is getting hot. And they're starting. So it's a Texas versus California. And what that means is that Republicans, are now going against California. The Texas Republicans are now going against California. There are people that are now Democrats that are standing on all 10 that are told that they cannot leave. Okay, so this is just an update. So a young lady, representative, hold on, let me go. Here's why Kevin. Hey, shout out to Kevin. Look, feeling sick. So, a black Republican says that skin color doesn't matter, and she says her party of Republicans are not racist. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen and let y'all see what she is talking about. Man, I feel bad.
And grandstand and say pretty much anything that they want. And we're expected to stand here and just take it. You call my voters racist,
They
you
are.
call my party racist,
They
but
are.
yet we're expected to follow the rules. Well, that double standard ends today. From a founding member of the Tea Party movement to fighting on the front lines for President Trump in 2015, long before it was cool, I have traveled all over this country
Good for
for
you.
the better part of a decade, and I can tell you that more and more minority voters are voting their values, not their skin color.
I'm sorry.
The opposition gets to stand here and grandstand and say pretty much anything that they want, and we're expected to stand here and just take it. You call my voters racist, you call my party racist, but yet we're expected to follow the rules. Well, that double standard ends today.
Now, who that is Katrina Pearson. She is part of the. I hate. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. She is the House Republican. Give me a minute, cause they just All right, I'm sorry, y'all. Now that was Katrina Pearson. Give me one moment. That was Katrina Pearson. Katrina Pearson is the Republican for United States. Um, I'm sorry, Republican office. I've been feeling sick, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me if y'all watch the playback. And I'm sorry about the dog because they just left and didn't say nothing. Um. Anyway, so this is what Texas Republicans passed new gerrymandered congressional map. We talked about this map and what the plan is, and they're also putting on hold on basically they're putting on hold the funds that were supposed to help Texas at the time, child. This is a hot mess. And the parents spoke today, but let's go with this. There's a lot going on in Texas right now. Is it gonna play? Okay, well no. They passed the reading for the HB4, the bill to adopt their newly drawn congressional district map that seeks to earn them 5 more seats. So basically, they're kicking out all the black seats that they have, which is 5 of them. They're kicking them out to replace them with white people, as y'all saw when I put on my shorts, with people that look like them, people that are fair skinned. So for Katrina, hey girl, how you doing, Katrina? For you to come on here and with your bad wig, I guess you married to a yeet man, that's fine. But you to come on here and do your colleagues like that, we know what it is for you, and you'll be out next. Okay, girl. All right, girl. So let's go on because we got some more to share. Yeah, what you call it called to Marjorie Taylor Greene said Jasmine Crockett is laced back because she's educated. Now, JD Vance claims house costs are down because of deportations. What? The house cost is still up, sir. Okay. So this is what Gavin Newsom had to say, pass it to the new bill map today. Okay. He said it's on Texas. So listen, Gavin Newsom said if y'all pass it, I'm coming for you. California and the Texas Democrats, we're gonna bond together and do what we have to do. Well, baby, we saw that with Jasmine said, listen, we're doing what we're gonna have to do. Well, we saw that today when they have to do what they have to do. Now, another young lady who is a Democrat as well also asks, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Will she be jailed today? She asked that, will she be jailed today? Let me see if I can go to Fox. Yeah. And it's sad. Okay. She asked if she left, will she be jailed today? I want you to respond.
Without signing a permission slip, am I subject to arrest by the government?
As I stated today, no one will be able to leave the chamber without a permission slip.
Mr. Speaker,
To notice for what purpose?
parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Why is an arrest under the call of the House not prohibited by Article 3, Section 14 of the Texas Constitution that prohibits members from being arrested during the legislative session?
To notice that is a general question that the chair declines to answer.
Mr. Speaker,
To notice for what purpose?
if I attempt to leave this floor today with this call of the House on me,
Okay.
why am I not protected?
Now it says Texas Democrats came back to Austin after they broke quorum 2 weeks ago in protest of the state's redistricting plan. After Texas Democrats returned, House Speaker Dustin Burrows announced that the quorum breaking. First of all, this is not the first time quorum was broken. If we have spoke about that, like they said, it was around Abraham Lincoln and nobody was arrested. But it's funny that they're arresting them when you have so many people getting pardoned for January 6th. I'm not understanding. Okay? I'm not understanding. I'm sorry, y'all. This live ain't gonna be long because. And the thing is that I have said before, and a lot of people, Texas is a one of those trial and error states. Let's do a trial and see if it work. But a lot of people saying is Democrats gonna fight, they're gonna fight, they're gonna fight. And I'm feeling like it was one guy I watched. He is not a Democrat or a Republican. He is he's the same thing, a radical radical Zionist like Amanda Seals, and he say for people to blame the Democrat Party is insane because it's really the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. He sure did. And we're going to go into what they're doing. From what I understand, Tarrant County, if you live in Tarrant County, I know someone in Tarrant County, excuse me, they are, by September 30th, they're stopping assistance for elderly, giving out hygiene products, utilities and payments because and rent, because they know the elderly pension is not that much, so they're stopping it. Just like it's Meals on Wheels had stopped at one point. There were plenty of they had to start it back again because of 2020, the situation. So yeah. So let's go into what what Joyce Reed had to say. And I know a lot of people are like, what's going on?
Dallas County and Harris County, where Houston is, plus the majority Hispanic areas where the Latino Democrats hold seats that are being targeted. Texas is not being subtle when it comes to race-based gerrymandering. In a state where the single largest population group is Latinos, just like California, under the new proposed maps, white voters would have one congressional representative for every 445,000 people. Latinos would have one representative for every 1.4 million people. And African Americans, who are about 13% of the population, would have one representative for every 2 million people.
Not true.
That data comes from a Democratic Texas state representative named Vincent Perez. Now again, it ain't subtle.
Research.
Once passed, the racist Republican maps would mean that one white vote in Texas will count 3 times more than a Latino vote and 5 times more than a vote by a Black Texan. And white Texans, who make up just under 40% of the population, would control 70% of the congressional district. Being slightly more than 40% of the population of the state. In other words, they are completely to ensure permanent white rule, which is also known as apartheid. And yet, just 1 week after Democrats denied Republicans a quorum by physically leaving the state, heading to Chicago and New York and Massachusetts, anywhere but the Texas state legislature, with supporters raising millions of dollars, Beto O'Rourke raising money, and Illinois Governor Pritzker and Gavin Newsom in California mounting an epic vow of gerrymandering retribution, this happened.
My bad, Mr. Act Up in Heat. I want to let y'all know they didn't break the quorum because of anything. They broke it because most they're starting with Texas. I want y'all to understand. They're trying to do it with California, didn't work. Because Abbott is, most like Dallas County, which is Dallas, and Houston have a majority of Black and Hispanics. So they want to target them. Because of the fact is that majority of Texas and otherwhere have whites, and if you pay attention, certain areas with cheaper places, they're getting, basically filled up. They have a problem. Hold on. So they're doing anything to do that. Anything. All right. So is Texas been showing their hand, and I feel like I'm going to keep it real with Texas. You're suffering as well as the people you don't like suffering. The people that you have in-house couldn't even replace or get the funds and did whatever they wanted to do. And now they have parents sitting here crying with tears about their children at going up to Congress in Austin because of something that they decided to do to hurt the children. The woman that you hate, oh, her music ain't country music, donated millions of dollars to help y'all. And they didn't tell y'all that. They wanted y'all to continue to hate that lady. But you're going to learn. All right, so let's go in. All right, so we're going to talk about the map. You know, oh, yes, this is a lot. This is affecting a big time. Why is it so low? Hold on, y'all. We're going to replay that in a minute.
If you are black, it takes 2 million. In this proposal, a Hispanic Texan value. Here is the cold, hard truth. Under this map, white Texans receive 1 member of Congress for every 445,000 residents. If you are Hispanic, it takes about 1.4 million residents for that same representation. If you are black, it takes 2 million. In this proposal, a Hispanic Texan has 1/3 the political value of a white Texan under this plan, and a black Texan 1/5. It would take 3 Hispanics to equal the representation of 1 white Texan and 5 black Texans to equal the value of 1 white Texan. Let me say at the onset, Representative Hunter, that I have tremendous respect and admiration for you and for your years of service in this chamber. But I must also say with equal candor that I am deeply disappointed. I am disappointed in the willingness to mask the racial realities of this map underneath the guise of partisanship. Courts have been clear. Partisanship is not a license to engage in racial discrimination. It wasn't until today that I more fully appreciated what Dr. King wrote in 1963, sitting in a Birmingham jail, expressing his frustration with the moderates of his time. He said that shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. Representative Hunter, you have criticized my colleagues and I for breaking quorum to protest and to draw attention to these maps that deliberately sideline minorities from the political process. But as Dr. King reminded us, there are those who are more devoted to order than to justice, who prefer the absence of tension than to the presence of truth. I took time away not to avoid my duty, but to better understand the real implications of these maps on the people I serve in a district that is majority Hispanic, and on the more than 11 million Texans who look just like them. Their voices deserve to be heard and deserve to count the same as anyone else's. But let's focus on the congressional districts before us. It was mentioned that the underlying goal was simply to improve Republican performance, and Representative Hunter relied on the lawyers to draw the lines. But any fair reading of this map shows what it actually does. It systematically dilutes Latino and Black voting strength while cementing and increasing Anglo control. Any claim to the otherwise is either misunderstanding the racial realities of this map, or is deliberately misrepresenting the truth. And neither approach is worthy of this chamber. We have not seen a map this deliberately engineered by skin color since the days that brought Americans to march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama in the 1960s. Marches to protest laws designed to sideline black voters, marches that helped to bring about the Voting Rights Act just months later. Today, Hispanic and white Texans each make up about 40% of our state's population, equal in number. But under the proposed map, 26 of the 38 congressional districts, 70% of our entire state's congressional delegation will be controlled by white majority districts. You cannot say you found a way for one racial group that is 40% of our state's population to have 70% political control in this state and say that the racial disparities are merely coincidental. 45 years ago, Anglo-Texans made up 66% of our state's population. Today, that number is 40%. Yet your map freezes white political control as if the demographics in this state have not changed at all in the last 50 years. And somehow, in the 10 hours it takes to drive from my district in El Paso to yours, Representative Hunter, on the coast, across this vast and diverse state, your lawyers somehow managed to draw non-racial lines that will leave your party representing 90% of one race. And in case if your lawyers didn't advise you, it's not Hispanics or blacks. Why does your party want to represent 90% of white Texans, but not 90% of Texas Hispanics or blacks? Because this map has methodically carved and segregated those populations to ensure they cannot influence elections in those 26 white-controlled districts.
Zodiac women who keep men hooked.
Under this map, white Texans receive one member of Congress for every 445,000 residents. If you're Hispanic, it takes about 1.4 million residents for that same representation. If you are black, it takes 2 million. In this proposal,
I want to play that. Okay. So basically, that's what they're trying to do, and that's why. So GOP passed the new hold on. It's been passed today. Hold on. Y'all.
The request of Donald Trump. The vote was 88 to 52. All 88 yes votes came from Republicans, all 52 no votes from Democrats. The map creates 5 new GOP-leaning districts before next year's crucial midterm elections. Let's be clear, this is a ploy to retain power, nothing more. Breaking news out of Texas, House Republicans just passed their severely...
When Texas and the black communities go to vote, you may have some issues, okay? Another thing they're doing, if you are on Section 8 longer, they are kicking you off. They are, I'm going to read this to y'all, they are kicking off people that are elderly as well. So if you got an auntie, mama, you need to be figuring out how they're going to live with you. Yes, I said it. The Centers for Medicare, excuse me, and Medicaid Services issued a proposed rule for SI 2026, outlining potential policy changes for Medicare payments. You're going to have Medicare payments as well. Hold on. They say section rule. Dang. Hospital. It's going to be a lot of things cut. Let me pull up Section 8. I thought I put that in there, but I'm glad that pulled up because that lets you know too. So it's a new Section 8 cut, and this is why he wants to have who he wants to have in those 5 seats to make this sustain. Include potential cuts to funding the introduction of work requirements and time limits for certain individuals, and a shift towards state administrative block grants. Okay. You have the funding cuts. HUD will be cut funding. Work requirement, it does not say, but we'll go into that. Time limits, I believe it's going to be 2 years. But everybody's fine with people who do need to get off of it, right? Because a lot of people don't want to be on Section 8 or whatever for so long, right? Well, it's saying, hey, we're going to attack the people that get disability also, the elderly. Most elderlies get what they can for their pension and have most of them homes that help. Yeah, they're going to cut in that too, y'all. Your elderly family is going to be hurting. So if you got a house, you need to make room and make way. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off because I didn't want this live to be long. Because I'll be back tomorrow with scary stories. I'm doing a little more light. But I just want to keep y'all how can I say it? Informative on what's going on and what to look out for. I know we said we wasn't going to protest or do anything, and I know we have been resting, but I have to be honest when I say this, and I hope y'all watch to the end of this live when you replay. I know we've been resting and we feel like this country don't care, but as we've been resting and minding our damn business, they have been bothering us and plotting at us and trying to figure out a way to bother us. And I'm going to say this in a nice way. They're going to get what they've been asking for. They're not going to get what they think they're going to get with the protest, but they're going to get what they've been asking for. They have been plotting against the Black community. They have been watching what's been saying about women versus men. They've been doing all that stuff to see. They've been seeing we've been taking vacations. We're kicking it and laughing, doing whatever we can, finding out ways to make our own coin. But they're going to get what they asked for. Because one thing about us, when you keep bothering us and we minding our business, and you think it's a ploy to keep bothering us, to keep doing those things because they want seats, okay, we see how you're moving. But don't think for a second that we are like our ancestors in a way that we won't fight differently. Just because you had those 20 dum-dums and a couple more out here, don't think that you don't have millions that are ready. The Haitians has fought ICE, as we talked about. People are proclaiming their innocence. They cannot play with them Haitians like that. You have people on ICE that's not even qualified that are tackling people going to work, that are not even immigrants. You've been bothering the Black community and calling them out and keep bothering us. We've been minding our business. You had your little minions sit here and bother us and say we're starting stuff. Then you got your little Black minions over there who want to sit here and go, yay, we're with it. You will have a problem. So we're going to continue to rest. We're going to continue to rest. But I'm going to tell you this. Black people are getting tired, and we will make sure there is a blackout. We have Target stepping down. You will have a blackout. And it's going to happen. So don't think for a second that you got our attention. You got our attention. But just like we have Target going out of style, have the Target CEO stepping down to get somebody qualified, don't think that. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this live. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the Friday spooky stories. I just wanted to put this out there because if they starting with Texas, they're going to be starting with other states soon. Atlanta, you're next. California, they're trying. New York, they're going to try to get y'all too. All the places that are for their people, y'all, they're going to gun for y'all. And I know we say we resting, but just like they're doing in Washington, mostly Black owned. So I know we resting, but I believe that the resting might be up soon. We enjoyed it, but I really believe it's going to come to an end by next year. I feel it like we're not taking it. We're not going to take this anymore. And I feel like Black people have been minding their business and not doing anything, and they just edging for us. And it's going to go to a point that what you go look for, you search for, you're going to find it, but you're not going to like what you find. And I'm going to leave it there because we're not going to take this. We're not. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the creepy story time. Later.
Roman on 7 days, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I take your dreams and make them multiply. If this world was mine, I take your enemies in front of God.